So watch this. I'm going to go into Claude Cowork and I'm going to clean up my disgustingly messy downloads folder. So we'll go over to Claude Cowork and I'm going to say, please organize the downloads folder. And let's go and click go. And now it's working on it. I had to connect it to the downloads folder, whatever folder you want to connect it to, so it knows where it's going. It's going to start running its command. I could take off for 5 minutes or whatever and come back, and it's going to do its work. How would you like this files organized? By file type, by project topic? What should happen to zip files and already extracted folders? I like that. So it's asking me some questions about all the junk that's in my folder. How's it going to clean it up? And this is one of the beautiful things about Cowork. It's like having someone working next to you doing tasks for you. Okay, so it did some surveying about the whole thing, 635 items, and it's going to write a Python script, which I don't know how to do, to go in there and sort everything out for me, which I think's amazing. Okay, so it's done. It took about 1.5 minutes. And it says great choices. It surveyed, it made the Python script. I've got 314 image files. It put them all under personal photos or my teaching in AI, branding logos. It just organized everything. AI generated things, PDFs. It knew what, business stuff I had for iographer or my teaching. And then it went and archived a bunch of zips and all kinds of stuff. Plus there was videos and documents. The archives folder is a lot of content. So this is amazing. Let's go back and see what it did. And there it is, okay? So I didn't have to click and drag and do anything. It did it all for me. Wow. Every file was named, sorted, done. I didn't have to click anything. I didn't drag anything. I just described to Cowork what I wanted, and I could have walked away. So that's Claude Cowork, and today I'm going to show you how you can use the exact same power for the tasks that are eating your Sundays as a teacher. Hey everyone, I'm Mr. B, media arts teacher and AI tech lead at my school in California. I've been watching every Cowork tutorial that's dropped in the last month. Every single one of those targets developers, business owners, which is fantastic. But nobody's really made one for teachers until now. I'm going to show you 3 use cases built specifically for the classroom, plus a student privacy workflow that most AI tutorials will never mention. So let's dive in. So this is Claude Cowork. You just saw it work in the downloads folder, but let me explain what is actually happening. When you use Claude in the browser, you go back and forth and you type, it responds, you type again. You are managing every step. Cowork is different. It's autonomous. You point it to files, describe what you need, and it works through everything on its own. Reading, processing, creating outputs without you having to babysit every move. The key thing that makes this a teacher tool, in my opinion, is that it reads files from a folder on your computer. No uploading, no copying and pasting. You just point it to a folder and describe the outcome that you want. Same idea as I just did with the downloads folder, but instead of sorting files, it's reading 30 student pitch decks and writing individualized feedback for all of them while you go make some coffee. So before I get into the demos, I want to talk about student privacy because this is where most AI tutorials just completely drop the ball. Cowork will actually read your actual files, including file names. So if a student submits a file called Maya Chen Documentary Pitch PDF, Cowork actually sees the name. And that's a problem, especially if your district has AI data guidelines. Mine does. So here's my rule. No real student names ever go into any AI tool ever. So my fix is simple. When I download student submissions, I rename them using a free Mac app called Name Changer. I can bulk rename 30 files in about 2 minutes. Student 01, student 02, student 03, etc. I then keep a private key in my notes on my end Student01 maps to real name. After Cowork generates the feedback, I do a quick pass to personalize it back. Okay, super easy, 2 minutes of renaming, fully compliant. Save this timestamp because you're going to want it when your admin asks how you are using AI responsibly. Okay, so now on to my demos. So here's my first use case. Use case 1, this one's going to save you the most time. It's batch student feedback. So my students just submitted their movie pitch decks, 5 to 6 pages outlining their concepts, their target audience, production plan, their budget. I have 30 of them for each class, and I have 3 of those classes doing this. Normally, that's an entire Sunday. So I've downloaded them using Google Classroom and then renamed them, of course, and then drop them into the folder. And now let's see what it does. So I've opened up Cowork. I'm going to point it to a folder. I'm going to choose a different folder, and we'll go to my downloads. And if I scroll through, I should see pitch deck. And it's connected to pitch deck. And I wrote as the task. Now, this is not the prompt. This is a task. I want it to do this. Read each movie pitch deck in this folder. Write individualized written feedback for each file. Tone, supportive, high school media teacher. Encouraging, but direct. Each piece of feedback should acknowledge one specific creative strength in the concept, identify one area to strengthen in the production plan with a concrete suggestion, and end with a forward-looking question to push their thinking. Flag any pitch that feels rushed, underdeveloped, or where the student just seems disengaged. Save each piece of feedback on a separate file named to match the original. So I'm all set. Let's press let's go. Okay, so it's done. It did all 5. It did it probably in about 3 minutes. Would have taken me a lot longer to go in there and critique all this. It gives me a quick summary of what it did. The first one's called Unread, Student01. Praise the genius of using phone screens as literal light sources, concept type to cinematography. Push them to add more structure and character bio. Ask, what does your character actually decide and how does it change them? I mean, this is great stuff. Here's the actual feedback for Unread. So the creative strengths there. Decision to use phones, just like it said. Areas to strengthen. Your production plan has strong bones, budgets, locations, visual styles, but the pitch is missing a team. Right now, it's a solo concept rather than a production plan. So it's really showing them how things work and what they need to work on. Questions to push their thinking. Your logline is a compelling dilemma. Follow the warning signs or face the consequences. But here's the question that will define your movie. What does your main character actually decide? I mean, these are great, critical, thought-provoking questions. So I love how it's doing all this. And if I go back over to my folder, I'll see inside of the pitch deck now has 10 items. So here's the students' stuff, and then next to it is their feedback, which I can send to them or paste it into Google Classroom or whatever I want. Here it is. If I want to open it up in Pages, which is on this Mac, or whatever you're using, you can have it open up with. It'll show me in the folder. If I click on that, it'll take me to the folder for the second one. There it is. But it's giving me great feedback that I didn't have to go in there. And of course, I can tweak it at any time. But the speed that in which we're able to work now is amazing. So I hope you really like this one because I love this one. So Cowork has a feature called Scheduled Task, and you can set this up once and Cowork just runs it automatically at whatever cadence you choose, whether it's daily, weekly, every weekday, every month, whatever you want. So here's my setup. I have a folder that's just called New Submissions on my desktop. Whenever I download new student work from Classroom, renamed files go in there. I'm going to set up a weekly check-in. So now I've got to set up a Cowork task that runs every morning. So I'm going to press /SC and their schedule. So once I do that, we are good. And then I'm going to post this in here, check for any files, rename it. Let's go. Okay, so this is what it did. It created this. It says, here's your media arts feedback generator ready to set up. 3 files were created. what it does. Every weekday at 8 a.m., it scans that folder I told it to for any new PDF or docx files that don't have feedback yet. For each one, it runs a 100-point Media Arts rubric evaluation and saves _feedback text right next to the submission. That's exactly, I do 100 points for all my lessons that I do, so that is awesome. It knew that from before. Rubric covers concept and creativity, production, quality, communication, storytelling, craft, and attention to detail. Love this. Now, quick setup. So it's telling me here what it's doing. I have to go in there and make it executable, drop a test in PDF in the folder, and it'll run and just verify that it works. And then there's a plist instruction. That's just basically an instruction document to activate the 8 a.m. schedule. All of that's going to be done perfectly. And the script is smart. It skips any file that has already a feedback text next to it, so no double grading ever. And everything is logged in the same folder. Here's all the information I need. So I've got this killer task ready to go that's going to alleviate me from doing a ton of grading that I don't have to go every morning. Some side note here, this is genuinely not possible using regular Claude or ChatGPT. There's no scheduled tasks, no automation. Cowork is the only way that you can get this. And I want to tell you this as a little honest note, the tasks only run when your computer's awake. That's why I set it for 8 a.m. So if the Mac is just closed overnight because you just close it and put it away, it's going to run as soon as you open it up in the morning. But you could, of course, just leave it open and keep it on and let it run if you have a ton of things to do. Teacher use case number 3, parent emails, but full privacy safe workflow. So it's the end of quarter. I've got students that I have to contact their parents, maybe missing assignments, participation concerns, and positive outreach that never gets sent because the hard emails drain everything first. So my setup is simple. I have a simple text file on my desktop. We'll pull that up. That's just called parent email list. I've got the 3 things on it. I've got the student identifier, the situation, and the tone that I want it to be. So for example, student 03, missing 2 project submissions, 3rd reminder, be firm but not accusatory. Okay, so that's my workflow of how I like to do it. So now I'm going to go back into Cowork, and I'm going to give it this task. I'm going to copy this prompt here, and I'm going to tell it to draft individual parent emails for each entry file. I teach media arts at high school level, tone warm but direct, solution focused, never accusatory, for positive outreach, specific and genuine, not generic praise. Each email should feel like it came from a teacher who knows the student, not a form letter. Use this student identifier as a placeholder. I will replace it with the real name before sending. And then I'm going to go here and choose the new folder. So we're going to go in here and go to desktop, and I see parent emails right here. And I'm going to allow that always. And then I'm going to add a file, which is the file of my parent emails. So we'll go to the desktop, and it is parent email list right here, just a simple text file. And we're going to click Let's Go. And Claude wants access to that. We're going to allow it. And now it's working on this. So it's reading. I can see everything as it's progressing here on the right. I absolutely love this. Okay, it's all done now. It says it saw all of the 3 students, their contacts. It drafted the emails. Here they are over on the right. And here's an example of one. Dear parent, guardian of student 03, which will change the real name. I'm reaching out because student 03 currently has 2 project submissions missing in media arts. This is my 3rd attempt to connect. I want to make sure we work on this together before it becomes harder to recover. I'm not writing this because I've given up on the student, on whoever. I'm writing this because I haven't. The projects we do in class build directly on one another, and catching up is still very possible. And here's where things stand. Both missing assignments currently recorded as 0s, and together they're having significant impact on the quarter grade. So this is all fantastic, and I just have to go in there and tweak it with their real names. Here's another one. Good news, kind that I think every parent deserves to hear directly from a teacher. And then it's praising the student about all of that, the kind of leadership. So these are great. This is such a great workflow. And I love that I was able to set this up and go do other work, and it's being done for me. And I just have to go in there and do some tweaks with names and stuff, and we're good to go. So Cowork is just a huge advantage. It's reading real files on my desktop. I'm not copying and pasting anything into a chat window. It's just a huge difference at scale. So here's how you get this set up. You go over to Claude.ai, log in, create an account. Now, as I said, to do this type of stuff, you are going to be on a paid plan. So it's only $20 a month. It's worth every single penny. As you can see how much time I'm saving. And I don't know about you, but time is everything to me. You just want to go in here and then do the plan for $20. And then there'll be a way for you to download it to your desktop. And once you're in there, you've got Cowork ready to go. It's not just the browser thing, it's on your device itself. So once you have it in there, you're going to go down to the settings here, and you're going to go into the general, and there's your profile with your name, what should call you. And then in personal preferences, this is who you're going to put who you are. What do? You can say you're a teacher of English at high school level, and whatever you want. I use Cowork for a lot of things, not only for my media arts teaching, my AI stuff, but also as my founder for my company, because it just does so much work for things that I want to do for marketing and stuff like that. And I tell it all the different subjects I teach. I mean, I've basically given it every single thing it could possibly want to know. So you set that once and you're done. It's going to apply those principles to every session. Next, I recommend using a folder system, creating maybe 3 folders, new submissions, so there could be new essay submissions, new whatever, in progress, and then a feedback ready. So those are on your desk, you're ready to go, and then just bringing in projects and stuff that you need to put in there for it to do its work. Step 5 is super important. I'll put this in the description. It's the link to the name changer app. It takes you 2 minutes to set up, and then that way there's just no real names when you're going in here and doing any kind of grading. So that's a very important step. It's free and it's worth its weight in gold. And then once you have all this set up, just go in there and type /schedule. And then that way you can schedule your first task that you wanted to do. And then of course, connect it here to the correct folder and hit go. And maybe you have to upload a file that you wanted to go through and read. Click let's go, and you're off to the market. Make sure that you describe the task with a lot of context. So the subject, the tone, the format, what you want to flag. The more specific upfront you are, the less you're ever going to have to fix later. So I'm going to keep building Claude workflows, especially for teachers, because nobody else is doing it. And you know what? We deserve tools that fit how we actually work. If this was useful, please subscribe. New Claude tutorials will be here every week, always built around real classroom uses. Drop in the comments what subject you teach, what task is eating your Sundays, and I'll build the next tutorial around the top answers. And if your district is starting to ask questions about AI, the identifier workflow I showed you today is a great place to start with that conversation. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week.